Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Hacker 101. All right, so for tonight's video, I'm going to teach you guys about a tool called Cowrie SSH Telnet Honeypot. That is a way we can hack the hackers, right? So what this tool does, this tool sets up a fake SSH server, a fake Telnet server, and any hackers that are out scanning the internet looking for vulnerable SSH or Telnet servers um, they find this Cowrie Honeypot server, and when they log in, Cowrie records everything they do, every command they type, every script they download, every executable they download, every payload, and it records everything. That way, we have all the information on how the hacker was trying to hack our machine, where he may have his command and control, where's his FTP server, where is he serving up his files from. So we can find out a lot of information, IP addresses, even of the hacker that we could further investigate if we wanted to. All right. So before we get started, let me load up my disclaimer. All right, guys. As you know, um, on Hacker 101, all the demos I do, all the hacking that I do this on my own equipment. I own the equipment. I have permission. Nothing illegal is happening here. I do not support any illegal activities, and you should always have permission before any hacking related activities. All right, so with that being said, let's I'm going to load up Kali Linux just to SSH to my Ubuntu server, but you need to have an Ubuntu server or a Debian server that is out on the cloud. I use DigitalOcean. You can use DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, Linode, whichever you prefer, but you need to have a 1 GB, one CPU, very small virtual private server because the server needs to be on the internet publicly accessible for hackers to be able to hack into it. All right, so first thing, let's open up your browser. And I'm gonna show you the Cowrie GitHub page. So type in Cowrie Honeypot GitHub, and this is the first link here. This program has been around for quite some time. I've used it years ago and learned about how to, how to hack the hackers, find out what they're doing, and get a heads up or you know, be one step ahead of the hackers. And you can block them, with your firewalls and whatnot. So, Cowrie, the GitHub page, Cowrie is a medium to high interaction SSH and Telnet honeypot designed to log brute force attacks and the shell interaction performed by the attacker. And what that means is Cowrie SSH honeypot, whenever the hacker hacks into the fake SSH server, it records everything they do, like I said. So it's recording all their interaction, right? Okay, so you can read more about the application on their GitHub page, but the documentation is here. I'm going to scroll down to how to install. And I'm just going to kind of minimize this and open up my terminal. All right, and I'm going to SSH to my server out on DigitalOcean, my Ubuntu server. Okay. All right, so first thing we need to do, you need to do sudo su and become root and do an apt update. And then once you do an apt update, we're going to copy these files right here. Copy those, but don't hit enter yet. I have one more file and I will put it in the description of the video, but install this package also. It's Python 3.10-venv. Write it down, but install that package that's needed. Then hit enter, then yes to install those. All right. Once it installs, the dependencies are done, then we're going to create a user for the Cowrie application. So it's not running as root. You don't want it to run as because it's going to start up this program that's vulnerable. So this user has no privilege. Let's hit OK. right? Let that restart its services. And I'm going to do a clear. All right. So now let's create that user. Copy it from here. And you can give it a name. Enter, enter, enter. Yes, that information is correct. All right. And then now we need to change to that user. So do sudo su dash Cowrie to become the Cowrie user. And now we're going to do a git clone. So we're going to download the Cowrie application. All right, so let's change into that Cowrie directory, ls. There's the files. All right, so now we need to set up the Python virtual environment. So we're going to do a pwd just to show you we're in the home Cowrie directory. One thing about this application is man, they got files under folders, Cowrie. It's kind of crazy, but all right, so let's just type in this command, copy this command, and we need to edit this command before you hit enter. And you can just add Python 3 here, make this work. Then hit enter, and that'll set up this virtual environment. All right, now we need to activate this virtual environment. That way we can install the requirements for the other requirements for Cowrie. So we activated that, and you can tell it's activated by this. Let's do an upgrade on pip, which is the Python package installer manager. That, and then we're going to install the software requirements or packages for Cowrie by copying this. Let's get all the requirements. Okay. All right. That'll be done in a second. So the next thing we're gonna do, we gotta edit the configuration file, which is stored in the etc directory. And there's a file called cowrie.cfg.dist. Right. So let's go to the etc. And you see that file? We're going to copy that file and name it cowrie.cfg. Because if you read through here, you'll see both files are read at startup. This file takes precedence, and this file does not get overwritten. This file will get overwritten during an upgrade. So we're going to do copy. It's just like a template file where you use. So we'll copy it like that. You do ls. And so now we're going to do nano cow. We're going to edit the Cowrie config file. And we're going to change the host name because this SRV or SVR04, that looks kind of suspicious. Any experienced hacker is going to know that that looks kind of like a honeypot server name. So just name it whatever, SSH server 02 or whatever you want to name it. And then next we're going to do a control W because I'm going to search for um, Telnet. I'm going to do left bracket, Telnet, right bracket. I'm going to hit enter. And I just want to enable this. I'll type in true, hit X for yes, save it, hit enter. All right, so now we can start Cowrie. But before we start it, let's go to this next step. You see it where it says listening on port 22 optional, this optional step. Now Cowrie listens on port 2222, right? Most hackers are scanning the internet for port 22, not 22, but 22, and port 23 for Telnet, not 2223. So what we're going to do is we're going to tell our IP tables for any incoming request on port 22 redirected to 2222, right? That way they'll connect to the Cowrie SSH server. So let's copy that, hit enter. Oh, sorry, we got to hit Control C. We got to exit out of the Cowrie user because we got to be root to do this. So that's there. All right, we're going to do, now we'll do the next one, just copy it. That's for Telnet. Enter. Okay. All right. So now let's do sudo su dash Cowrie. Get back to the Cowrie user. There we go. ls. Okay. All right. So let's go back to where we can start the program. So let's go. So it's bin start. So let's go into the Cowrie directory. ls. All right. So we're going to type in bin / Cowrie start. It's like that. All right. So that started the Cowrie program. I'll show you that it's running in the background. All right, you see it's running in the background, right? So at this point, what you would do, this doesn't happen instant. You got to let this sit out online, and eventually hackers will find it, and they're going to log into the server. They're going to start trying to download their payloads. They're going to try to start hacking the server to gain elevated privileges and whatnot. So this has to sit online for a while. So let this run. But in the meantime, I'll show you how you can watch the log file. So let's do print working directory. So let's do ls. Let's go cd var ls cd log ls cd Cowrie. So I'm talking about the directories. They got a lot of directories. And then ls, and then you see Cowrie.log. So you can do tel -f Cowrie.log, and the tel-f is follow. So what that means is we're gonna read this file, and we're gonna read it on live. That way, whenever it's being scanned, we'll see it, right? We do that, hit enter, and now we see it's ready accepting connections, telnet connections, accepting SSH connections. And whenever the hacker tries to hack into the server, you'll see it logged here, right? All right, and like I said, this will take some time. So for the purpose of this video, I have two Cowrie servers. I have a second one that I created a day or so ago, and it's already been running and had some activity on it. So I'll show you what this looks like on a server, what you do next. All right, so leave your Cowrie server running. You can check it in an hour or two. You should start seeing some activity on the log file here. But after a little bit of time, you should start finding that people have logged in. They started downloading files and whatnot. So let me log onto the other server, and I have that here. And let's see what directory. So ls. All right, so this is my second Cowrie server that's already been running. So the first thing I want to do is I want to show you, let's do cd var, and then we're going to go to ls, and then you have, we went to the log directory earlier. That's where the log files, but we're going to get the library directory. So do cd lib ls, and then cd Cowrie ls, and you have downloads. This is where any files that get downloaded are stored. And then TTY, this is where the recorded session, like when the hacker logged into the server, Cowrie records that, right? So, and it puts those recorded sessions into a directory called TTY. So we'll do cd TTY, and then we'll do ls-all. You'll see I already have a few files here. And to read these files, to replay these files, you got to type out a kind of a long command, but you'll type in Python 3, and you'll type in home Cowrie. We're going back to the Cowrie folders, and then in the bin directory, then it's play log, right? That's the name of the program. And then you just type in, let's say 0. We'll do the first one. And what this is going to do, when I hit enter, it's going to play back what the hacker was typing in at the command prompt, right? So if I hit enter, all right, and this one is me. I logged in to show you guys. I typed in who am I, and it's root, rent to working directory, and then I'm looking at the password file. So this is all recorded session where I had logged in previously to demo this, and so you see I'm echoing subscribe to Hacker 101 now, right? So you see it's recording the session, right? And you see I'm on the SSH server, right? And so now that's the end of it. It's finished. That just showed me a recorded session. So if I do a clear, and do a ls-all. And so now let's look at the second one, another one. Take this out, and I'll show you some real activity now. All right, so we're going to type in play log, just like we did, and then we're going to go look at the second file and watch this one. Okay, so this hacker logged in. He changed directory to the current user's home directory. He did an rm-rf. He removed the SSH directory, and he recreated the SSH directory, and then he inserted, or she inserted, their SSH key into the SSH directory and into authorized keys. Essentially, what they did is they replaced the SSH key. They took over the server, they got rid of the weak password, and now you got to have this SSH key to log in, right? Well, that didn't work because, this is a honeypot. But okay, so that's clear. Let's do a clear on that one, the screen. Ls, that's all. And then the last one, play this file, enter. Now this person, when he logged in, he ran the shell command, and he ran a wget command. So now we have a file here, right? This is a server's IP address. This is our attacker, our hacker's IP address. So now we can investigate. We can check this server out. We can block it so they no longer have access to our server, but we have identified a hacker's IP address, and they're trying to download this file right here, right? So you want to know, what is this file? This dot, or this /12. So they're using a web server, their IP 43.249.172.195 on port 888, and the file name is 12, and they got one name 123. So they downloaded the file, they ran the file, and then they deleted the file, and then they cleared their history. So this is the commands they ran, right? So if I run this command, do a wget, like that's like so. Let me type in wget. So if I run this command right here, I can download that file that they were downloading, right? This is the file that this hacker was downloading. And I'll show you, Cowrie's already downloaded this, but I'm going to show you. And this is another reason why you want to do this type of, set up a honeypot on a server that's not on your network. You're playing around with, payloads and different files that could possibly cause you issues. So if we just do a cat, all right, so this is a elf, it's a ELF file. Let's call it ELF file. It's short for executable and linkable format. That's a executable file for Linux, right? So we do clear, and let's do ls. So we got the 1.2 file. So I can see, let's do file 1.1.2. So if I wanted to decrypt or decompile this Linux executable file to dig in to get more information, I could do that by typing file. It would tell me what type. It's an ELF file, 32-bit, blah, blah, blah. Then if I type in strings, 1.2, I can start getting information out of this payload. And I can decompile this payload and see exactly what it does. But that's for another video. So I'm going to hit clear on this. And I'm not going to download the other file because I want to show you in the downloads directory what it was. So you saw where Cowrie recorded a hacker, it logged in, and he downloaded some files. He ran them on the server, hoping to exploit or hack my honeypot server. But it's not an actual shell, so he wasn't, or she wasn't successful in their hack. All right, so let's do this. Let's go cd dot dot ls. Let's go to downloads, ls, and I'm gonna do a cat 7. I'm gonna look at that first file. This is the file that he downloaded, or she downloaded, the hacker downloaded, and it is a script. They're looking for certain chipsets like ARM7, ARM4, 6, 5, and so forth. They're looking for certain chipsets. They're looking for certain types of computers they're hacking into. And here is their server's IP address. Here is another server's IP address that we could go and investigate. This is another hacker's machine. And they're trying to download their payloads with this script. So let's look at the other one. It is, I think this is the SSH key. Yeah, that's the SSH key that was downloaded by that one hacker, and his he nicknamed it motherfucker. So whatever. He, who's the motherfucker now? Because you just hacked a honeypot server, so whatever, man. But so we found out quite a bit of information. We found out how hackers, they're logging into our machine, how they're downloading their executable files. Whether we downloaded that one Linux executable ELF file that we can decompile and possibly find, their command and control. We did find the IP address of their server that's hosting their payloads. We could then run an nmap scan on those servers to see, what we find. But this is the way you can hack the hackers back. We know what they're doing. We can see what they're trying, how they're trying to get into our systems, and we can use that information to help secure our environment. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It's kind of a long video, but yeah, if you have any questions about this setup, leave comments. And if you like the video, hit subscribe, and I will create you guys another video. All right, thanks.